for a few more people to join. And okay, I can see there's another tsunami.
You'll have a lot more people joining in from our group today.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
That's good.
hopefully. Yeah,
So, Sonali, can you keep a quick reminder to everyone there also?
yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that.
So, Priya, how was your week?
My week was great. I had a lot of, I wouldn't say really challenges, but yeah, not fully ready to adjust to the life here in north of India. So still doing that, I think.
So, in Goa, you were you were for a very long time there.
Yeah, and I still wanted to live longer there.
Okay, was that your native or something? Or
No,
like,
no, 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 no. I was just there for a holiday.
oh, great.
Yeah. Okay, welcome, Upika. So today we're going to read.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Priya. It's Sri from this ID actually.
Oh, hi, hi, Shri. Welcome.
Yeah, I'll keep my video on off
Today.
now. Huh?
Acha, off now today.
Yeah,
Okay, no problem. How are you feeling? Better?
yeah, better. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So today is a very important session because we'll be reading chapter 14, which is about the body. So basically, ये बोल सकते हैं कि लुईस ने आज तक जितना भी काम किया है, this is like the USP of her work. So it is very important for you to understand what she's trying to say. And also, I would like you to pay attention as I'm reading this chapter about the dis-ease condition in your body. What is it that you have been feeling lately? The aches and pains, if you have had like a bodily issue for a long time, just make a note of all these things. So keep your journal handy. And if the part which I'm reading, for example, if you have a migraine for a very long time, the part where I'm going to read about migraine, just make sure that you're underlining all of that. Okay? Okay, so shall we begin? Welcome, all of you. We are reading the book You Can Heal Your Life, written by Louise Hay. I am Priya Shukla, and I'm a licensed and certified trainer for doing this work. And we'll be reading chapter 14, The Body. I listen with love to my body's messages. I believe we create every so called illness in our body. The body, like everything else in life, is a mirror of our inner thoughts and beliefs. The body is always talking to us. If we will not take the time to listen, every cell within our body responds to every single thought you think and every word you speak. Continuous modes of thinking and speaking produce body behaviors and postures and eases or diseases. The person who has a permanently scowling face did not produce that by having joyous, loving thoughts. Older people's face and bodies show so clearly a lifetime of thinking patterns. How will you look when you are elderly? I am including in this section my list of probable mental patterns that create illness in the body, as well as the new thought patterns or affirmations to be used to create health. They appear in my book, Heal Your Body. In addition to those short listings, I will explore a few of the more common conditions to give you an idea of just how we create these problems. Not every mental equivalent is 100% true for everyone. However, it does give us a point of reference to begin our search for the cause of the disease. Many people working in the alternative healing therapies use Heal Your Body all the times with their clients and find that the mental causes run 90 to 95% true. And that is absolutely true for me also because I've been working in this space for almost 12 years now. And this is what even I have experienced. Now, listen to this carefully. The head represents us. It is what we show the world. It is how we are usually recognized. When something is wrong in the head area, it usually means we feel something is very wrong with us. The hair represents strength. When we are tense and afraid, we often create those bands of steel that originate in the shoulder muscles and come up over the top of the head and sometimes even down under the eyes. The hair shaft grows up through the hair follicle when there is a lot of tension in the scalp. The hair shaft can be squeezed so tightly that the hair can no longer breathe and it dies and falls out. If this tension is continued and the scalp is not relaxed, then the follicle remains so tight that the new hair cannot grow through. The result is baldness. Female baldness has been on the increase ever since women have begun entering the business world. With all the tensions and frustrations, we are not aware of baldness in women because women's wig are so natural and attractive. Unfortunately, most men's tupis are still discernible quite a distance. Tension is not being strong. Tension is weakness. Being relaxed and centered and peaceful is really being strong and secure. It would be good for us to relax our bodies more, and many of us need to relax our scalps too. Try it now. Tell your scalp to relax and feel if there is a difference. Let's do it together. Yeah? Take a nice deep breath. Allow your scalp to relax. Feel your scalp relaxing. If you notice that your scalp visibly relaxes, then I would suggest you do this little exercise often. The okay, the ears represent the capacity to hear. When there are problems with the ear, it usually means something is going on you do not want to hear. An earache would indicate that there is anger about what is heard. Earaches are common with children. They often have to listen to the stuff going on in the household they really don't want to hear. Household rules often forbid a child's expression of anger, and the child's inability to change things creates an earache. Deafness represents long standing refusal to listen to someone. Notice that when one partner has hearing impairment, the other partner often talks and talks and talks. The eyes represent the capacity to see. When there are problems with the eyes, it usually means there is something we do not want to see, either about ourselves or about life, past, present, or future. Whenever I see small children wearing glasses, I know. Just give me a minute, huh? Sorry about that. Whenever I see small children wearing glasses, I know there is stuff going on in their household they do not want to look at. If they can't change the experience, they will diffuse the sight so they don't have to see it so clearly. Many people have had dramatic healing experiences when they have been willing to go back into the past and clean up what it was they did not want to look at a year or two before they began wearing glasses. Are you negating what's happening right now? What don't you want to face? Are you afraid to see the present or the future? If you could see clearly, what would you see that you don't see now? Can you see what you are doing to yourself? Interesting questions to look at. Headaches come from invalidating the self. The next time you get a headache, stop and ask yourself where and how you have just made yourself wrong. Forgive yourself. Let it go. And the headache will dissolve back into the nothingness from where it came. Migraine headaches are created by people who want to be perfect and who create a lot of pressure on themselves. A lot of suppressed anger is involved. Interestingly, migraine headaches can almost always be alleviated by masturbation. If you do it as soon as you feel a migraine coming on, the sexual release dissolves the tension and the pain. You may not feel like masturbating then, but it certainly is worth a try. You can't lose. Sinus problems, felt right in the face and so close to the nose, represent being irritated by someone in your life, someone who's close to you. You might even feel they are being down, they are bearing down on you. We forget that we create the situation, then we give our power away by blaming the other person for our frustration. No person, no place, and no thing has any power over us, for we are the only thinkers in our mind. We create our experiences, our reality, and everyone in it. I want all of you to underline these lines. Starting from no person to all that we experience. We create our experiences. When we create peace and harmony and balance in our mind, we will find it in our lives. The neck and the throat are fascinating because so much stuff goes on there. The neck represents the ability to be flexible in our thinking, to see the other side of a question, and to see another person's viewpoint. When there are problems with the neck, it usually means we are being stubborn about our own concept of a situation. Whenever I see a person wearing one of those collars, I know this person is being very self-righteous and stubborn about not seeing the other side of the issue. Virginia Satir, the brilliant family therapist, said that she did some silly research and found that there are more than 250 different ways of washing dishes, depending upon who's washing and the ingredients used. If we are stuck in believing there is only one way or one viewpoint, then we are shutting out most of life. The throat represents our ability to speak up for ourselves, to ask for what we want, to say, I am, etc. When we have throat problems, it usually means we do not feel we have the right to do these things. We feel inadequate to stand up for ourselves. Sore throats are always anger. If a cold is involved, then there is mental confusion too. Laryngitis usually means you are so angry you cannot speak. So, those who have just joined us, we are reading chapter 14 from the book You Can Heal Your Life. Right now, I'm on page number 126, fourth paragraph. The throat also represents the creative flow in the body. This is where we express our creativity. And when our creativity is stifled, have we started recording the session, Sonali? Do you remember? Yes. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Great. We all know many people who live their whole lives for others. They never once get to do what they want to do. They are always pleasing mothers, fathers, spouses, lovers, bosses. Tonsillitis and thyroid problems are just frustrated creativity, resulting from not being able to do what you want to do. The energy center in the throat, the fifth chakra, is the place in the body where changes take place. When we are resisting change or are in middle of change or are trying to change, we often have a lot of activity in our throats. Once, when you cough or when someone else coughs, what has just been said? What are we reacting to? Is it resistance and stubbornness, or is it the process of change taking place? In a workshop, I use coughs as a tool for self discovery. Every time someone coughs, I have that person touch the throat and say out loud, I am willing to change, or I'm changing. We have done this exercise, isn't it? The arm represents our ability and capacity to embrace the experiences of life. The upper arm have to do with our capacity and the lower arm have to do with our abilities. We store old emotion in our joints and the elbows represent our flexibility in changing directions. Are you flexible about the changing direction in your life? Or are old emotions keeping you stuck in one spot? The hands grasps, hands hold, hands clench. We let things slip through our fingers. Sometimes we hold on too long. We are handy, tight fisted, open handed, penny pinchers, butterfingers. We give handouts. We can handle ourselves, or we can't seem to handle anything. We put a handle on something, it hands down, its hands off, hanky panky. We give someone a hand, our hand in hand, it's on hand or out of hand, underhanded or overhanded. We have helping hands. Hand can be gentle or they can be hard with naughty knuckles. From overthinking to dulled with arthritic criticism. Rasping hands come from fear of loss. Fear of never having enough. Fear that it won't stay if you hold tightly. Tightly grasping a relationship only has the partner run away in desperation. Tightly clenched hands cannot take in anything new. Shaking the hands freely from the wrist gives a feeling of looseness and openness. That which belongs to you cannot be taken from you. So relax. The fingers each have meaning. Problems in the fingers show where you need to relax and let go. If you cut your index finger, there is probably anger and fear that has to do with your ego in some current situation. The thumb is mental and represents worry. The index finger is ego and fear. The middle finger has to do with sex and with anger. When you are angry, hold your middle finger and watch the anger dissolve. Hold the right finger if your anger is at a man and the left if it is at a woman. The ring finger is both unions and grief. The little finger has to do with family and pretending. The back represents our support system. Problems with the back usually mean we feel we are not being supported. Too often we think we are only supported by our job, by our family, or spouses. In reality, we are totally supported by the universe, by life itself. The upper back has to do with feeling the lack of emotional support. My husband, wife, lover, friend, boss doesn't understand me or support me. The middle back has to do with guilt. All that stuff that is in back of us. Are you afraid to see what is back there? Or are you hiding what is back there? Do you feel stabbed in the back? Do you feel real burnt out? Are your finances in a mess? Or do you worry about them excessively? Then your lower back must be bothering you. The lack of money or the fear of money will do it. The amount you have has nothing to do with it. So many of us feel that money is the most important thing in our lives and that we could not live without it. This is not true. There is something far more important and precious to us without which we could not live. What is that? It is our breath. Our breath is the most precious substance in our lives, and yet we totally take for granted when we exhale that our next breath will be there. If we do not take another breath, we would not last 3 minutes. Now, if the power that created us has given us enough to breathe, to last for as long as we shall live, can we not trust that everything else we need will also be supplied? The lungs represent our capacity to take in and give out life. Problems with the lungs usually mean we are afraid to take in life, or perhaps we feel we do not have the right to live fully. Women have traditionally been shallow breathers and have often thought of themselves as second class citizens who do not have the right to take up space and sometimes not even the right to live. Today, this is all changing. Women are taking their place as full members of society and breathing deeply and fully. It pleases me to see women in sports. Women have always worked in the fields, but this is the first time in history, as far as I know, that women have gone into sports. It is wonderful to see the magnificent bodies that are emerging. Emphysema and heavy smoking are ways of denying life. They mask a deep feeling of being totally unworthy of existing. Scolding will not change the habit of smoking. It is the basic belief that must change first. The breasts represent the mothering principle. When there are problems with the breasts, it usually means we are over mothering either a person, place, a thing, or an experience. Part of mothering process is to allow the child to grow up. We need to know when to take our hands off, when to turn over the reins and let them be. Being overprotective does not prepare the other person to handle his or her own experience. Sometimes our overbearing attitude literally cut off nourishment in a situation. If a cancer is involved, then there is also deep resentment. Release the fear and know the intelligence of the universe resides in each one of us. The heart, of course, represents love. While our blood represents joy, our heart lovingly pumps joy throughout our bodies. When we deny ourselves joy and love, the heart shrivels and becomes cold. As a result, the blood gets sluggish and we creep our way to anemia, angina, and heart attacks. The heart does not attack us. We get so caught up in the soap opera and the dramas we create that we often forget to notice the little joys that surround us. We spend years squeezing all joy out of the heart and it literally falls over in pain. Heart attack people are never joyous people. If they do not take the time to appreciate the joys of life, they will just recreate another heart attack in time. Heart of gold, cold heart, open heart, black heart, loving heart, warm hearted. Where is your heart? The stomach digests all the new ideas and experience we have. What or who can't you stomach? Who gets you in the gut? When there are stomach problems, it usually means we don't know how to assimilate the new experiences. We are afraid. Many of us remember when commercial airplanes first became popular that we could get inside a big metal tube that would carry us safely through the sky was a new idea we found hard to assimilate. At every seat there were throw up bags, and most of us were using them. We would throw up into our bath bags as discreetly as we could, wrap them, and hand them to the stewardess, who spent a lot of her time running up and down the aisle collecting them. Now it is many years later, and though the bags are still at every seat, they are seldom used. We have assimilated the idea of flying. Ulcers are no more than fear. Tremendous fear of not being good enough. We fear not being good enough for a parent. We fear not being good enough for a boss. We can't stomach who we are. We rip our guts apart trying to please others. No matter how important our job is, our inner self esteem is very low. We are afraid they will find out about us. The genitals represent the most feminine part of a woman, her femininity, or the most masculine part of a man, his masculinity. Our masculine principle or the feminine principle. When we do not feel comfortable with being either a man or a woman, when we reflect our sexuality, when we reject our bodies as dirty or sinful, then we often have problems in this genital area. I seldom come across a person who was reared in a household where the genitals and their functions were called by their right names. We all grew up with euphemisms of one sort or another. Remember the ones your own family used? It could have been as mild as down there to names that made you feel your genitals were dirty and disgusting. Yes, we all grew up believing that something was not quite right between our legs. I feel the sexual revolution that exploded several years ago was, in one way, a good thing. We were moving away from Victorian hypocrisy. Suddenly, it was okay to have many partners, and women as well as men could have one night stands. Marital swapping became more open. Many of us began to enjoy the pleasure and freedom of our bodies in a new and open way. However, a few of us sought to deal with the Rosa Lamont found. A few of us thought to deal with what Rosa Lamont, founder of the Self Communication Institute, calls Mama's God. Whatever your mother taught you about God when you were 3 years old is still there in your subconscious mind unless you have done some conscious work to release it. Was that God an angry, avenging God? What did the God feel about sex? If we are still carrying those early guilt feelings about our sexuality and our bodies, then we are surely going to create punishment for ourselves. Bladder problems, anal problems, vaginitis, and prostate and penis problems all come under same area. They stem from distorted beliefs about our bodies and the correctness of their function. Every organ in our body is a magnificent expression of life with its own special functions. We do not think of our livers or our eyes as dirty or sinful. Why do we then choose to believe our genitals are? The anus is as beautiful as the ear. Without our anus, we would have no way to release what the body no longer needs, and we would die very quickly. Every part of our body and every function of our body is perfect and normal, natural, and beautiful. I ask clients with sexual problems to begin to relate to their rectum, penis, or vagina with a sense of love and appreciation for their function and their beauty. If you are beginning to cringe or get irate as you read this, ask yourself why. Who told you to deny any part of your body? Certainly not God. Our sexual organs were created as the most pleasurable part of our body to give us pleasure. To deny this is to create pain and punishment. Sex is not only okay, it is glorious and wonderful. It is as normal for us to have sex as it is for us to breathe or eat. Just for a moment, try to visualize the vastness of the universe. It is beyond our comprehension. Even our top scientists, with their latest equipments, cannot measure its size. Within this universe, there are so many galaxies. In one of these smaller galaxies, in a far off corner, there's a minor sun. Around this sun, a few pinpoints revolve. One of those is called planet Earth. I find it hard to believe that the vast, incredible intelligence that created this entire universe is only an old man sitting on a cloud above the planet Earth, watching my genitals. Yet, so many of us were taught this concept as a child. It is vital that we release foolish, outmoded ideas that do not support us and nourish us. I feel strongly that even our concept of God needs to be the one that is for us, not against us. There are so many different religions to choose from. If you have one now that tells you that you are a sinner and a lowly worm, get another one. I am not advocating that everybody run around having free sex at all times. I am saying that some of our rules do not make sense. And this is why so many people break them and become hypocrites. When we remove sexual guilt from people and teach them to love and respect themselves, then they will automatically treat themselves and others in ways that are for their highest good and greatest joy. The reason we have so many problems with our sexuality now is because so many of us have self hatred and self disgust. And so we treat ourselves and others badly. It is not enough to teach children in school the mechanics of sexuality. We need, on a very deep level, to allow children to remember that their bodies, genitals, and sexuality are something to rejoice about. I truly believe that people who love themselves and their bodies will not abuse themselves or others. I find that most bladder problems come from being pissed off, usually at a partner. Something makes us angry that has to do with our femininity or our masculinity. Women have more bladder problems than men because they are more prone to hide their hurt. Vaginitis, again, usually involves feeling romantically hurt by a partner. Men's prostate problems have a lot to do with self worth and also believing that as he gets older, he becomes less of a man. Importance adds fear and is sometimes even related to spite against a previous mate. Frigidity comes from fear of or a belief that it is wrong to enjoy the body. It also comes from self disgust and it can be intensified by an insensitive partner. PMS, premenstrual syndrome, which has reached epidemic proportions, is concurrent with the increase of media advertising. These ads continually hammer home the concept that the female body must be sprayed, powdered, and douched over, cleansed in numerous ways to make it even barely acceptable. At the same time, the women are coming into their own as equal beings. They are being bombarded negatively with the idea that the feminine are not quite acceptable. This notion, combined with a tremendous amount of sugar being consumed today, creates a fertile breeding ground for PMS. The processes, all of them, including menstruation and menopause, are normal and natural processes. We must accept them as that. Our bodies are beautiful, magnificent, and wondrous. It is my belief that venereal disease is almost always sexual guilt. It comes from a feeling, often subconscious, that it is not right to express ourselves sexually. A carrier with a venereal disease can have many partners, but only those whose mental and physical immune systems are weak will be susceptible to it. In addition to the old standards in recent years, the heterosexual population has created an increase of herpes. This is a disease that comes back again and again to punish us for our belief that we are bad. Herpes has a tendency to flare up when we are emotionally upset. That tells us a lot right there. Now, let's take that same theory over into the gay community, where they have all the same problems everybody else has, plus much of society pointing their fingers at them and saying bad. Usually, their own mothers and fathers are also saying, "You're bad." This is a heavy load to carry, and it's difficult to love yourself under these circumstances. It is not surprising that gay men were amongst the first to experience the dread disease AIDS. In heterosexual society, many women dread growing old because of the belief systems we have created around the glory of youth. It is not so difficult for the men, for they become distinguished with a bit of gray hair. The older men often get respect, and people may even look up to him. Not so for most gay men, for they have created a culture that places tremendous emphasis on youth and beauty. While everyone is young to start with, only a few fit the standard of beauty. So much emphasis has been placed on the physical appearance of the body that the feeling inside have been totally disregarded. If you are not young and beautiful, it's almost as though you don't count. The person does not count, only the body counts. This way of thinking is a disgrace to the whole culture. It is another way of saying gay is not good enough. Because of the ways gay people often treat other gays, for many gay men, the experience of getting old is something to dread. It is almost better to die than to get old. And AIDS is a disease that often kills. Too often, gay men feel that when they get older, they will be useless and unwanted. Louise has written this entire page about how gay people are and how gay men feel and all that because when she was writing the book, AIDS was out and it had actually become a very big, dreadful disease. So that's why you'll see like this entire page is about that. So I'm going to continue reading. You take whatever feels right for you. Okay. Too often, gay men feel that when they get older, they will be useless and unwanted. It is almost better to destroy themselves first, and many have created a destructive lifestyle. some of the concepts and attitudes that are so part of the gay lifestyle. The meat rack, the constant judging, the refusal to get close to another, and so on, are monstrous. And AIDS is a monstrous disease. These sort of attitudes and behavior patterns can only create guilt on a very deep level. No matter how much we make camping, which can be such fun, can also be extremely destructive both to givers and recipients. It is another way of avoiding closeness and intimacy. In no way I'm trying to create guilt for anyone. However, we need to look at the things that need to be changed in order for all of us, all our lives, to function with love and joy and respect. 50 years ago, almost all gay men were closeted, and now they have been able to create pockets in society where they can at least be relatively open. I feel it is unfortunate that much of what they have created gives so much pain to other gay brothers. While it is often deplorable the way straights treat gays, it is tragic the way many gays treat other gays. Men traditionally have always had more sexual partners than women, and when men get together, of course, there'll be a great deal of more sex. That's all fine and good. The bathhouses fulfill a wonderful need unless we are using our sexuality for the wrong reasons. Some men like having a lot of partners to satisfy their deep need for self esteem rather than for the joy of it. I do not believe there is anything wrong with having several partners, and the use of alcohol and some recreational drugs on an occasional basis is fine. However, if we are getting bombed out of our heads every night and if we need several partners a day to prove our self-worth, then we are coming from a then we are not coming from a nourishing space. We need to make some mental changes. Okay, so there are not much exercises in this chapter, so I'll just continue to read. And like I told you in the beginning, that you just start underlining the lines that feels right and true for you. Okay, so this is the time for healing, for
She,
making whole.
sorry to interrupt you. I was just telling you that since it's a long chapter and there's a lot to read and absorb, do you want to check if anybody has a question and uh, maybe before we, because if we keep reading till 1 p.m., then we might have some questions which we'll take up after 1 p.m. So maybe if you want to check, because I know it's still a long chapter and we may not finish it today. Or you want to finish the chapter?
Uh,
What do you say?
that's a great suggestion, Sonali. I think what I'll do is let me finish reading up to feet, which is this chapter, this page 135, and just the first paragraph of 136. Okay. And then after that, if anyone has any question, I can take.
Yeah.
We'll still have like 10 minutes, yeah, before we close the session. Okay, okay, all right, everyone, give me a thumbs up if you agree. Thank you, Tanmay. Okay, all right. So I'm going to continue reading here. This is the time for healing, for making whole, not for condemnation. We must rise out of the limitations of the past. We are all divine, magnificent expressions of life. Let's claim that now. The column represents our ability to let go, to release that which we no longer need. The body, being in a perfect rhythm and flow of life, needs a balance of intake, assimilation, and elimination. It is only our fears that block the release of the old. Even if constipated people are not actually stingy, even if constipated people are not actually stingy, they usually do not trust that there will ever be enough. They hold on to old relationships that give them pain. They are afraid to throw out clothes that have been in the closet for years because they might need them someday. They stay in stifling jobs or never give themselves pleasure because they must save for the rainy day. We do not rummage in the last night's garbage to find today's meal. Learn to trust the process of life to always bring you what you need. Our legs carry us forward in life. Leg problems often indicate a fear of moving forward or reluctance to move forward in certain direction. We run with our legs, we drag our legs, we pussyfoot, we are knock-kneed, pigeon-toed, and we have big, fat, angry thighs filled with childhood resentments. Not wanting to do things will often produce a minor leg problems. Varicose veins represent standing in a job or a place that we hate. The veins lose their ability to carry joy. Are you going in the direction you want to? Knees, like the neck, have to do with inflexibility. Only they express bending and pride, ego, and stubbornness. Often, when moving forward, we are fearful of bending and we become inflexible. This stiffens the joints. We want to move forward, but we do not want to change our ways. This is why knees take so long to heal. Our ego is involved. And the knees take a long time because we get our pride and our self righteousness involved. The next time you have a knee problem, ask yourself where you are being self righteous, where you are refusing to bend. Drop the stubbornness and let go. Life is flow, life is movement. And to be comfortable, we must be flexible and move with it. A willow tree bends and sways and flows with the wind, and it is always graceful and at ease with life. Our feet have to do with our understanding of ourselves and of life, past, present, and future. Many people have a difficult time walking. Their understanding has been wrapped, and they often feel there is no place to go. Little children move on happy dancing feet. Elderly people often shuffle as they are reluctant. Okay, so for today's session, do you have any questions? Do you have any doubt? Do you want to share anything? You can just unmute yourself and you can just switch on your camera also if possible so I can see your beautiful face. And if you have any question, any doubt, or even if there's a comment you want to share, if you worked with Louise's book earlier and have healed any of your physical ailment or have witnessed anyone healing it, you can share that as well. So it's open to you now. The floor is open. Whoever wants to share. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So I've not tried it anything in the past with Louise, but when I'm reading it and where I can relate the ailments that are there with my family, with my mother, or with myself, anything, let it be lower back pain or knee issue or the head, the migraine. I think that all matches so very beautifully. It has come out, and now somewhere I felt like universe have given that opportunity to heal it out, and I think in the right way. So I think yes, it's been very amazing part. This chapter have been most amazing in the entire book. I feel that it has bring out to see the perspective of disease so beautifully. So yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. And you very rightly said that it does. And sometimes we ignore these problems, especially the problem related to lower back. And it's like an epidemic now, the headaches, the blood pressure, the diabetes. So when we look at the patterns, it can really help us heal.
My personal experiences these days, I'm having a lot of throat pain, and I've been confused as to what is it happening. Why
Throat pain.
am I? Yeah, throat pain. Why is it happening? Because it is not just normal cold, but why? But today when I read that this is the fifth chakra represents to the change. And yes, there is a lot of change inside out that I am going through, and this change is out of a transformation. And there are certain change that my body or myself are denying to that change, and that is holding on to me in my throat. So I think this was an eye opening for me, a bulb on moment, I would say. Thank
Wonderful. So
you.
now you know what to do, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Whatever
yes.
practice you need to do, the mirror work that you need to do, and also go back and write about,
We will
journal
call
about.
you. I have five
Yes,
minutes
yes.
more.
I'll definitely do that, Priya. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Hi, hey
Hi.
Sonali. I'm very happy for this opportunity to revisit this book, even at this late stage. I think I'm in a more open space, so everything makes a lot more sense and a lot more accepting. And I mean, I'm revisiting the book almost after 10 years, and I have gifted this book to many people. So all I can say is keep at it, and you'll find these issues. It has a lot to do with self-love and forgiveness. I don't know. Everybody seems to have frozen, but I don't know what's wrong with my Zoom today. But this whole book for me was a lot about self-love and forgiveness and being non-judgmental. Because the minute you know this one has this problem, that judgment comes in. Oh my God, she's got diabetes, so she doesn't know how to love the people around her. Oh my God, she's got a knee issue, so she can't move forward in life. So it's a massive tool. All I can say, it's a great help, but it has to be used very, very, very lovingly and judiciously with no judgment at all. Because whatever you see in others is also a reflection of a part of what you have. And your reading, Priya, just opened out a few things for which I'm truly, truly, truly grateful. And brought, sometimes when you read it and when you hear it, it's two different things. And I feel our Indian system of vakya, this thing, hearing and saying, there were no books in the past. It was always vocal, what you hear. It had to be said to you. Certain teachings are meant that way. So great work. And keep going. I'm going to try and join whenever I can.
Thank you so much, Varsha. Thank you. Words of wisdom mean so much. And I think the entire group will relate to what you just said about being non-judgmental. And that's what Sonali, I, and Meenuji are trying to create in this space, that we provide this kind of platform to people who are keen on healing themselves. Thank you so much for sharing.
Amazing. Thank you.
All right, so anyone else who wants to share something, or they have
Hi, hi, Priya. Thank you so much. The session was really insightful. So many things to learn. I just wanted to check, like you were saying about mirror work and affirmation, right? So that all would be covered as in covered in the later sessions that way.
already done that, Shri.
Oh, is it? Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I must
they
have
were
missed it.
the earlier chapters, so
Okay,
already covered that.
okay. It's in the same book. Got it.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, sure, sure. Thank you so much.
Anyone else? Zoom user, can I have your name, please? You have asked me a question. Could you unmute yourself? You have a question that will we receive the recording of the session? I want to first know, you have come from the INU club, or have you come from my You Can Heal Your Life group?
Hi, my name is Pooja. So today is the first time I joined. I'm not in. What is iron nuclear?
Oh, acha.
I
So
think
I
Pooja, where have you joined the group from? From the 75 Heart group?
From the 75 Heart group. What's that? I don't know.
Okay. So you've joined from another source, probably.
I
Where did you
I
got the link from?
Uh, I think this only Heal Your Life.
Okay. So is this the first time that you're coming for the session?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
after the
Can we
session,
see you,
send me,
Pooja, once?
No,
you send
not
me
now.
a personal message and I'll share the recording with you.
Okay, sure, sure. Thanks.
Okay, all right. Anyone else who has any question or
Priya, we anyways upload everything on the INU YouTube channel, the
okay.
sessions.
Okay, so I will share that with, but just make sure to send me a
Sure, sure. I'll do that. It will be there in the group also,
What is INU?
book reading.
Jagruti, you want to tell her about the INU stuff?
Okay, basically INU is a social organization where we all connect together for growth. And INU has organized this with in association with Priya, this book reading sessions. So you can also join there, volunteer there.
We'll share both the details with you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pooja, you can write to any one of us and we'll send you the details regarding the same.
Whichever group you are
Oh,
in, Pooja, you can just mention there also. There's
like
no problem.
INU is like, I mean, is there any city or anything, or is it located everywhere?
It's a club. It's
It's
an
a club.
organization.
Okay,
Watch
Yeah.
it.
okay. So, like, I mean, if you're looking to do service or something, I mean, that's there, the option.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So you can just send your questions to any one of us, Priya, me, or Jagruti. Meenu is also here in the group. So you
Okay,
Yeah.
can just write in the group and we'll send you the details. Not a problem.
okay. Like,
So coming back to the book reading, Priya, thank you so much. This has also been my favoriteest topic from this entire book, and this is one part because I teach yoga and I, work very closely with the body, and I know I also very very deeply I understand and I believe that our emotions, our mind, and our body, they are interconnected at all times. So whatever we experience in the body is coming from the mind, and somewhere the that interconnection is very very strong. So reading this has given me a lot more deeper understanding of so many smaller things also, though I when I teach I talk about shoulder pain and back pain coming from not just the physical symptoms but the emotional symptoms that we carry in our body, the burden, the when we feel too overburdened with responsibilities, that's when we have the lower back pain also. So in my teachings also I try and get that in my classes. So it was just amazingly beautiful to read this chapter with you, and that's why I asked you to stop, because I just felt there is so much of information and you want to assimilate and you really want to absorb all of that information and then move forward. And it was a long chapter and I thought we could cover it in two parts, and then the list of course people can go through on their own, and I don't know how you plan to cover that, but yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonali. So about the list is something I'll share in our next session. So we just have like 3, 4 pages left from this chapter. And then, like I said, the list is actually the USP. And as Louise
Yeah.
was also saying, that a lot of healers use this list
Mm.
work with their clients. And also, going back to your own problems, if you're having some health issues and looking at it, and most of the times, like she says, that 90-95% of the time, the reason, the probable cause that she is given turns out to be correct. And then she's also given a new thought pattern how to combat it. And I will also reiterate, I have given this in the book reading earlier, but we'll just reiterate as to how to do these affirmations also. Okay. And then,
And also, if you can share some examples, Priya, from your own life and probably people you have worked with on how they were able to, if they had a specific health issue, how they were able to reverse by looking the whole thing from this aspect that Lewis has mentioned in the book. If you can share some live examples, I think that would be wonderful.
yeah, I'll do that. So in the
And we
next,
all can, I'm sure whoever has done it, we all can share these live examples. I think that'll make it more live and interesting for everyone.
absolutely. And with that, Sonali, the fourth part of the book which is the conclusion, where Louise has written about her story.
Yeah.
So chapter 16 is Louise's story. So many of you, I'm sure, Barsha ji, you must be knowing, since you said that you've read the book. Um, Louise herself, she had gone through cancer and cancer of vagina because she was raped when she was a little girl. So, you know how these things develop in our body and how we keep holding on to emotions and how we keep storing them in different pockets of our bodies, and then they just manifest themselves as disease, you know.
Yeah.
So that is
I
something.
remember when you gifted me the book, Priya, when you gave me this book in the first workshop, you asked me to read the last chapter first. I remember that. So I had started by reading the last chapter, which was her own life journey, Lewis's own life journey. So,
Yeah. So
The
we'll be reading
one thing which I felt over here, Priya, this is like a language of our body. Basically, everybody speaks Hindi, English, Marathi, Telugu. These are different languages, the communication. But the way Louis has explained how to understand our own body, that's really beautiful because in the kind of society we live in, people just tend understanding our body in different ways. Like बैकग्राउंड में जो ट्रेडिशनल थॉट प्रोसेस है, नहीं इसके यहाँ ऐसा था तो मेरे साथ ऐसे ही होगा, मेरे घर में
mm,
ये, नो द जीन्स पार्ट, द बैकग्राउंड पार्ट, हमारे फैमिली में ऐसे होता है, द पंजाबी फैमिलीज आर लाइक दिस, द गुजराती फैमिलीज आर लाइक दिस. इट्स नॉट दैट. एवरी पर्सन हैज देयर यूनिक बॉडी और
right.
उनको अपनी बॉडी को समझने का एक अच्छा तरीका है. आई जस्ट
Mm,
लव दिस वे. Now, basically understanding our own body and responding to it, taking care of our own body and taking responsibility of our own body. All the
yeah.
problems in our body comes only because of the kind of pattern we live in. To break that pattern and come out of it, this is the amazing way to take it.
Yeah, and well said, Jagrati, because you know a lot of people don't want to work on themselves because they just say कि अरे ये तो हमारे genes में है, अरे ये तो हमारे DNA में है. So a lot of
हाँ.
disease conditions also we are just हमने अपने हाथ ऊपर कर दिया है और हमने we are just giving it to the surgeons, to the doctors कि आपको जो करना है आप कर लो. अब तो सब आप ही हमें बचा सकते हो and that kind of thing. So I think
Correct.
yes,
क्योंकि ये हमारी बॉडी, हमको रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेना है, हम दूसरों पे डाल देते हैं.
yeah,
भाई ये दवाई लेने से हमको ठीक हो जाएगा, नहीं, वो दवाई के साथ जो इंटरनल बॉडी वर्क करना है तो उसका असर होगा. अदरवाइज वी विल गो बैक टू द सेम पैटर्न अगेन.
absolutely. And we've seen so many people, including my own journey, which I'll share with you in our next reading sessions. You know how when we change ourselves, when we change our own thought patterns, when we sit on the driving seat, that's when true transformation can happen. And everything in our life can be transformed, whether it is our finances, whether it is our relationships, or whether it is our health. So everything.
Absolutely.
Okay, so on that note,
Yeah.
thank you so much, each one of you, for joining me here today on this lovely Saturday afternoon. Delhi is getting a bit warmer. I am getting a bit excited finally. Okay, so
Same with Hyderabad now. I can say, acha, heaters have gone, the fans have started,
yeah.
heat is started.
So it
we
was
have a long way to go still, Jagruti, for our fans to be switched on.
The minute Sankranti is done, it's like, no, weather changes here completely.
Acha, no, not so soon in Delhi.
We could
okay.
see there's no 2 days before Sankranti, like 11, 12 का weather, and अभी 15, 16, 17 का weather. Absolutely different. मतलब different feel होता है हमको.
Okay.
Nice.
Winter खत्म हो गया, अभी गर्मी शुरू.
For joining us here today. And Pooja, do write to me after this. I will share the link with you, and also I will share the link
Who's,
of
who's,
INU Club and Intuitive Wisdom,
yeah,
whatever.
sorry, the link for the recording and what else?
and about INU Club,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
about my organization, which is Intuitive Wisdom, and the lovely work we do with both
Yeah.
the organizations. Yeah.
Okay. And I wanted to ask, who said that the weather is still very cold?
The weather is, Sonali said that the weather is still very cold.
Yeah.
Which location?
We
I'm
are,
in Gurgaon, Pooja.
Okay, okay, okay. Because
we
everyone
are
else.
in Gurgaon. But Jagrati is from Hyderabad, Anchal is from Hyderabad. So we are like now from different locations, and that's the beauty of INU Club, that we get to be connected, you
We are
know,
Indians.
at this point. Okay, all right, lovelies. I'll see you next week, and I'm going to post the journaling prompts. Time is going to be about the body, so make sure you attend it. Okay? All right. Have a great weekend and a
Thank
lovely
you,
week ahead.
Priya. Thanks, Priya. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Sonali.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.